continue our discussion on mathematical modeling, and we will develop today the mathematical modeling of a distillation column. Today we will develop the model of a distillation column. Previously we have configured 3 control schemes for a distillation column, but we did not discuss the modeling. So, first the configuration of a distillation column. This is the tower column section. This is the top tray. This is the feed tray, and this is suppose the bottom tray. Now, feed is introduced to this feed tray. This is the feed stage. Or feed tray. Feed has the flow rate of F. Suppose this feed mixture contains only 2 components, they are A and B. Feed mixture contains 2 components, namely A and B. The composition of this feed mixture is Z. Now, the vapor which is leaving this top tray, this top tray is denoted by N. A vapor stream which is leaving this top tray has the flow rate of V N. The vapor stream which is leaving this top stage has the flow rate of V N. Now, this vapor stream is condensed in an overhead condenser. This is a condenser. Fine. After condensation, the produced liquid, condensed liquid, is accumulated in a drum. This is called reflux drum. The condensed liquid is accumulated in this reflux drum. Suppose the hold up of this condensed liquid in the reflux drum is MD. The hold up of condensed liquid in this reflux drum is MD. A part of this accumulated liquid is withdrawn as top product. This is top product. This is also called distillate. Top product is also called distillate, and definitely this is a liquid stream. Now, we will assume the flow rate of this distillate is D and composition is X suffix D. The top product flow rate we are representing by capital D and composition is by XD. a fraction of this accumulated liquid is recycled back to the top tray. Fraction of this accumulated liquid is recycled back to the top tray. This stream is called reflux stream. This reflux stream has the flow rate of R and composition is same with the distillate stream. I mean the composition is XD. Fine. Similarly, at the bottom section, the liquid which left this bottom tray, this is we can say first tray, this is first stage. The liquid which is leaving this first stage is accumulated in this column base. Fine. Suppose the hold up in the column base is M suffix B. Now, this liquid then goes to a bottom reboiler and vaporization of liquid occurs in this reboiler. Then the vaporized stream is recycled back to the bottom stage. Suppose this vapor flow rate is V suffix B. The vapor flow rate of this recycle, the flow rate of this recycled vapor is suppose VB, and a part of that accumulated liquid in the column base is withdrawn as bottom product. This is bottom product. This is also a liquid stream. It has the flow rate of suppose B and composition is XB. The flow rate of this bottom product is suppose B and composition is XB. So, we are basically introducing to this column a single feed stream and we are getting two products, top product and bottom product. Fine. Now, this condenser is basically a total condenser. The overhead condenser is actually a total condenser because the overhead vapor is totally condensed. The overhead vapor which is entering the condenser is totally condensed. Fine. We can call this condenser as a partial condenser when there is a overhead vapor distillate involved. When there is overhead vapor distillate involved, then we can only say this is a partial condenser. But here we are considering it is a total condenser. So, there is no overhead vapor withdrawal. Fine. So, this is all about the description of the distillation operation. Next, we will develop the model based on some assumptions. So, what are these assumptions? What are the assumptions? First assumption is feed is a saturated liquid. The feed which is entering into the column, that is a saturated liquid. Fine. That means the feed is at its boiling point temperature. Feed is at its boiling point temperature. Fine. This is the first assumption. Second assumption is the column is perfectly insulated. The column is perfectly insulated. That means there is no heat loss from the distillation column to the surroundings. It means no heat loss from the process to the surroundings. The column is insulated so that there is no heat loss from the column to the surroundings. Third assumption is all the trays are ideal. All the trays are ideal. That means the trays are 100% efficient, or we can say tray efficiency is 100%. Fine. So, in this column we are considering ideal trays, 100% efficient trays. Next assumption is there is no vapor hold up. Vapor hold up on each tray is neglected. Vapor hold up on each tray is neglected because the density of vapor is much lower than the density of liquid. That is why we are considering this. For the high pressure column, this assumption is taken into account. I mean, the vapor hold up is considered on each tray. Fifth assumption is the molar heats of vaporization. The molar heats of vaporization of both components A and B are approximately equal. Are approximately equal. The molar heats of vaporization of components A and B are approximately equal. It implies that 1 mole of condensing vapor releases sufficient heat to vaporize 1 mole of liquid. That means, for the condensation of vapor, some heat is evolved. I mean, the vapor which is condensed, that releases some amount of heat, and for vaporization of liquid, heat is required. Fine. Now, the 1 mole of condensing vapor releases the heat that is sufficient to vaporize exactly 1 mole of liquid. Fine. The meaning of this assumption is that. Sixth assumption is the column has total 20 trays, excluding total condenser and reboiler. The column has total 20 trays, excluding total condenser and reboiler. Fine. Although this is not the assumption, this is basically the configuration of the process, but anyway we have included under assumptions. Fine. So, we have considered n for to represent the top stage. Basically n is 20 here. Seventh one is, anyway we can include another thing with this, the feed stage is the 10th stage. So, feed stage is the 10th stage. The feed enters the column on 10th stage, fine. Seventh assumption is perfect mixing on each stage. Seventh assumption is perfect mixing on each stage. That means, if this is a tray, suppose this is the liquid steam. So, if we consider perfect mixing on each tray, then composition of the liquid everywhere is same. I mean, if we represent the composition x n, that is identical everywhere on this stage. Next assumption is relative volatility, relative volatility of the two components A and B remains constant throughout the column. Relative volatility of the two components A and B remains constant throughout the column. Next assumption is ninth assumption, liquid hold up varies from tray to tray. Our fourth assumption is negligible vapor hold up, but we are considering liquid hold up. I mean, liquid hold up varies from tray to tray, but there is no variation of vapor hold up, fine. Last assumption, 10th, that is condenser and reboiler dynamics are neglected. Condenser and reboiler dynamics are neglected. We are not considering the dynamics of condenser and reboiler. So, based on these 10 assumptions, we will develop the model for the binary distillation column. Now, you just see, you just visit the assumptions 2, 4 and 5. Revisit assumptions 2, 4 and 5. Second assumption is the column is perfectly insulated, that means there is no heat loss. Now, this fourth assumption is there is no vapor hold up. Vapor hold up is negligible on each tray. And fifth assumption is if 1 mole of vapor condenses, at the same time 1 mole of liquid is evaporated, 1 mole of liquid evaporates. Can we write based on these 3 assumptions all the vapor flow rates are identical? I mean, the vapor stream which is leaving first tray equals to the vapor leaving second stage. Like this way, the vapor leaving nth stage equals to V B. Can we write? So, based on the assumptions 2, 4 and 5, we can write that all the vapor flow rates throughout the column, they are identical. It means V 1 equal to V 2 equal to V n, finally V b, fine. Anyway, next we will go to develop the modeling equations dividing the distillation column into different envelopes. So, first we will develop the modeling equation for the top section. Top section means reflux drum. So, first we will develop the modeling equation for reflux drum. The schematic of a reflux drum is like this. This is the reflux drum. Since we have considered there is no dynamics of condenser, so we can include here without developing any modeling equation for the condenser. The vapor stream which is entering into the condenser, that we have represented previously by V n. N is basically 20, because we have considered total number of stages 20. Now, this is the accumulation of liquid in the reflux drum. Suppose the liquid hold up is MB, sorry, liquid hold up is, you consider MD, fine. There are two outgoing streams, one is distillate, composition is XD, another one is R, composition is XD. See, all the compositions are here basically the mole fraction. You consider all the compositions as mole fractions, and flow rates are here basically molar flow rate. Say for example, D has the unit of mole per unit time, fine. Now, this is the schematic of the top section, and we will consider this as the first envelope. This is the first envelope, fine. Now, we have to develop basically the two equations, one is total mole balance and another one is component mole balance, fine. So, what will be the total? We will write here total mass balance, originally that is mole balance, anyway we are writing here total mass balance. Now, differentiation of MD, this is the accumulation. What is the input to this envelope? V20, fine. V20 is the input to this envelope. What are the outputs? One is D and second one is R. Okay. So, dMd dt equals to V20 minus D minus R. This is the total mass balance equation for this first envelope. Next, we will develop the component mass balance equation. What will be the component mass balance equation? dMd multiplied by xd dt, fine, equals to V20. What is the composition? This is vapor stream. So, vapor composition we will represent by Y and liquid composition we will represent by X. So, V20 multiplied by Y20, agree? Vapor flow rate is V20 and its composition is Y20. Now, D multiplied by composition, what is the composition of distillate? XD. Similarly, R multiplied by XD, the composition of reflux stream is XD. So, this is the component mole balance equation or component mass balance equation. Now, we wish to simplify this equation. So, MD dxd dt plus xd dmd dt equals to V20 Y20 minus dxd minus R x d. We will substitute here dmd dt term. So, md dxd dt plus xd, what is dmd dt? That is V 20 minus d minus r equal to V 20 y 20 minus dxd minus r xd. So, this dxd this dxd will be cancelled. Similarly, this and this rxd and rxd. So, what will be the final expression? Final expression will be md dxd dt equals to V 20 y 20 minus xd. Fine. If we further simplify, we will get dxd dt equal to V 20 by md y 20 minus xd. So, this is the final form of component mass balance equation for first envelope 1. Fine. Now, in the next we will consider the second envelope, that is the top stage. So, next we will consider the top stage, that is 20th stage. First we have to make the schematic for this. So, this is the top section of the column and this is 20th stage. So, n equals to 20. Now, the vapor which is leaving this top stage, that is V 20. Fine. What is the incoming stream to this stage? One is reflux R and another one is the vapor stream which is coming from 19th stage, that means V 19. Fine. Outgoing streams, one already we have drawn, that is V 20, another one will be L 20. So, incoming streams are, one is V 19, another one is R, outgoing streams are L 20 and V 20. Fine. So, this is the second envelope. This is the second envelope. Similarly, we have to develop the total mass balance equation. We will consider for this 20th stage the liquid hold up as M 20. Fine. If the liquid hold up is M 20, then d dt M 20, which is basically the accumulation terms, equals the input flow rates. What are the input flow rates? One is R, another one is L 20, no, not L 20, another one is V 19. Fine. And outgoing streams are L 20 minus V 20. Fine. Input minus output. Now, based on the second, fourth and fifth assumptions, we have concluded that all the vapor flow rates are identical. If that is the case, So, V19, V20 they are identical, fine. So, V19 and V20 they are equal to each other. Now, this equation reduces to R minus L20, got it? Since based on the assumptions 2, 4 and 5, we have concluded that all these vapor flow rates are same. If that is the case, we have to cancel out this V19 and V20. Then finally, we get the total mass balance equation dm20 dt equals to R minus L20. What will be the component mass balance equation? Component mass balance d m20 corresponding composition is x20 dt equal to reflux flow rate and composition xd plus V19 Y19 minus L20 X20 minus V20 Y20, fine. Why we did not multiply the composition with this equation final form? I mean, why we have included again V19 and V20 terms in the component mass balance equation? Because x is varying from tray to tray and y basically is the equilibrium composition of x. So, y varies from tray to tray. That is why we cannot neglect these two terms from this component mass balance equation. Can you simplify this equation as we did for the case of first envelope? So, M20 dx20 dt plus x20 dm20 dt equals to R x d plus V19 Y19 minus L20 X20 minus V20 Y20. If we substitute the total mass balance X20 dt plus X20 dm20 dt, we will substitute, that is R minus L20 equals to R x d plus V19 Y19 minus L20 X20 minus V20 Y20. So, L20 X20 is cancelled out. So, finally, we will get dx20 dt equal to 1 by m20 R x d minus x20 plus V b y19 minus y20. dx20 dt equals to 1 by m20 R x t minus x20 plus V b y19 minus y20. This is the component mass balance equation. Just we have substituted V19 equals to V20 equals to Vb, then we get this equation, fine. So, this is the second envelope, the modeling equations of the second envelope. Next we will consider the third envelope, that is any tray we will represent by any tray by nth tray. So, nth stage, fine. Now, this is the schematic of nth stage. Nth stage hold up is m suffix n. Input streams are, one is V n minus 1 and another one is L n plus 1. Outgoing streams are V n and another one is L n. Fine. This is the schematic of n stage. So, this is the third envelope. You quickly derive the modeling equations. What will be the total mass balance for this? dmn dt equals to incoming streams are L n plus 1 plus B n minus 1 and outgoing streams are L n minus V n. That means, the final expression is like this: dmn dt equals to L n plus 1 minus L n. What will be the component mass balance? d mn x n dt equal to L n plus 1 x n plus 1 plus V n minus 1 y n minus 1 minus L n x n minus B n y n. Fine. It is quite straightforward to write the equation for component mass balance. So, we will not proceed further to simplify this equation. It is quite easy. Fine. So, in the next anyway, so what will be the n stage basically? N stage is basically just below the top stage, that means 19th to above the feed stage, that means 11th stage, and below the feed stage, that means 9th stage to above the bottom stage, that means 2nd stage. Basically, we have considered common nomenclature n for these stages. Fine. That is why we have represented that by n stage, and those are just 19th to 11th and 9th to 2nd stage. So, in the next we will consider the feed stage, which is not included within this n stage. Fine. Also, the first stage is not included here, because that has slightly different nomenclature. Similarly, for the case of column base, we have to consider separately. So, now we will consider the feed stage. We will derive the total mass balance and component mass balance for the feed stage. So, first we have to draw the feed stage. This is the feed stage, that is basically 10 stage. Fine. So, the hold up will be M10, one input stream, that is feed stream, another one is L11, the liquid which is coming from just above the feed tray. Another input is the vapor stream which is coming just below the feed tray, that is V9. Fine. And outgoing streams are V10, L10. outgoing streams are V10, L10. So, this is the fourth envelope. So, what will be the total mass balance equation? Total mass balance equation will be d m10 dt equals L11 plus F plus V9. These are input streams L11, F and V9, and what are the outgoing streams? One is L10, another one is V10. These two are the outgoing streams. So, it is straightforward to write the component mass balance equation, just multiplying the flow rates with their composition. In the accumulation term, we have to multiply the hold up with composition. So, dm10 x10 dt equals L11 x11 plus F feed composition is Z plus V9 Y9 minus L10 x10 minus V10 Y10. Fine. This is the modeling equations for the feed stage. See, within the n stage, as I have mentioned, the bottom tray is not also included. So, we will consider in the next the first stage. The schematic representation of the first stage is like this. This is the first stage. Fine. Now, input liquid flow rate, one is L2, another input stream is VB, which is coming from the reboiler. Outgoing streams are, one is L1, another one is V1. Fine. So, this is the fifth envelope. What will be the total mass balance? If hold up is M1 for the first stage, then dm1 dt equal to L2 plus Vb minus L1 minus V1. Agree? Similarly, if component mass balance d m1 x1 dt equal to L2 x2 plus Vb Yb minus L1 x1 minus V1 Y1. Fine. This is the component mass balance equation. The last envelope we have to consider, that is the column base, which is also not included within n stage. So, last one is column base. The schematic of that is somewhat like this. This is the first stage and this is the column base. Some amount of liquid is accumulated in the column base. We are considering the hold up is MB. and one reboiler is installed here. This is the boiled up vapor which has the flow rate of Vb. Sometimes the bottom flow rate is included in this way B. The liquid steam which is leaving first phase, that has the flow rate of L1, and this Vb is actually introduced to the first stage. Fine. So, what will be the total mass balance? dmb dt equal to L1. Anyway, this is the sixth envelope. So, total mass balance is dmb dt equals to input is L1 and there are two output streams, one is B, another one is Vb. Fine. L1 is the input stream, B and Vb both are the outgoing streams from this sixth envelope. What will be the component mass balance? dmb xb dt equal to L1 x1 minus Vb yb minus V xb. This is the component mass balance equation. So, basically there are total 6 envelopes. One is for the reflux drum, second one is for top stage, third one is for end stage, fourth one is for feed stage, fifth one is for bottom stage and sixth one is for column base. Fine. Now, what are the variables involved in these modeling equations and how we can calculate those variables? In the modeling equations, we got total mass balance. Total mass balance equations are basically the ordinary differential equations. Fine. By solving those equations, what we can calculate? Hold up. By solving the total mass balance equations, which are basically the ordinary differential equations, we can calculate hold up. Fine. Another type of modeling equations are based on component mass balance. These component mass balance equations are also ordinary differential equations. By solving the component mass balance equation, we can get liquid phase composition. Liquid phase composition, and this is liquid hold up. Fine. So, M or total mass total hold up, liquid hold up and liquid phase composition we can calculate from the developed modeling equations. Based on three assumptions, second, fourth and fifth, we know all these vapor flow rates are identical, equal to Vb. So, this information is also known to us, all vapor flow rates we can calculate. Fine. What are the rests? One is Y, another one is liquid flow rate. How we can calculate these two variables, that we will discuss next. Fine. How we can calculate Y? We have assumed one thing, that the relative volatility of components A and B remains identical throughout the column. Relative volatility is represented by alpha. So, relative volatility of any component I with respect to another component j is represented by alpha I j. Relative volatility is represented by alpha and the suffix is used in this way. Alpha I j means relative volatility of component I with respect to component j. Alpha I j is related with k by this way. I mean alpha I j equals to k I divided by k j. K is the vapor liquid equilibrium coefficient. K is the vapor liquid equilibrium coefficient. It is also called distribution coefficient, which is basically represented by y by x. I mean k equals to y by x. So, can we write here y I divided by x I whole divided by, this is for j not I, k I by k j. So, y I by x I whole divided by k j means y j by x j. Can we write this? Because k equals to y by x. So, we have just included here the suffix. Now, see our example column is a binary distillation column. That means, there are two components, one is I, another one is j. So, we can write x I plus x j equals to 1. This is for liquid phase. Similarly, for vapor phase we can write y I plus y j equals to 1. Agree? Because our mixture is a binary mixture. Now, we will write here y I divided by x I whole divided by 1 minus y I divided by 1 minus x I. Fine. Our intention is to calculate the vapor phase composition of component I. That is why we are trying to avoid y j and x j terms. Fine. So, y j equals to 1 minus y I and x j equals to 1 minus x I. If we rearrange this equation, we will get y I equals to alpha I j x I divided by 1 plus alpha I j minus 1 into x I. If we rearrange this, finally, we will get y I equals to alpha I j x I divided by 1 plus alpha I j minus 1 into x I. You see in this equation alpha I j is defined, that is constant. We have assumed that x value we can calculate from the component mass balance equation. Fine. So, all the terms in this equation are known except y I. So, we can calculate y I. Fine. In the next class, we will discuss how we can calculate the liquid flow rate L. Fine. Thank you.